But the idea of holding on to a trade for a big runner, number one, let's get one thing straight. That is not greed. That's graduation. You're graduating to another threshold of trading. When I teach you that 5-handle run to start with, all that is something very small, something obtainable, easily obtainable each day. Now, in the beginning, it's going to be next to impossible for you to feel confident or even know what it is you're looking for to get those 5 handles. But after a while doing that over and over and over again, you're going to get bored with it real quick. Now, trading by, well, an envelope statement that says, okay, all trading in successful, consistently profitable trading should be boring. Yes, but you should not be just doing 5-handle trades in perpetuity. Like you need to eventually grow beyond that. But what happens if your personality prevents that from happening and you just never get beyond that? There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're consistently profitable and you're able to do that, you get your 5 handles, out the door you go live your life for that day. But I'm talking to the folks that know that 5 handles is just that first rung on the ladder that you're going to climb over the long career of consistently profitable. That's the path you're going. That's what you're aiming for. So what it is that you're going to have to endure is figuring out where your target is. Where's your comfort zone? All of you are going to have different thresholds. When I set out to be a trader that traded Forex and tried to trade the one shot, one kill, where I'm trying to get a lion's portion of the weekly range, I settled in with 50 to 75 pips. It was easy for me to get 50 to 75 pips every single week, outlining it, showcasing it, trading it, executing it, everyone's seeing it. Now people out there doing it. But that's not the entirety of a full weekly range. Right. It became real easy for me to juggle and manage the mentorships that I was running, the video production, the editing, all those things. So your personal life, what you're trying to do, all these things, your personal life and your family, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your career, at work until you can leave it, all those things plus sleep, they're all going to play tug of war with you. And you have to be realistic. You just can't go for Babe Ruth swinging for the fences, knocking them out the park. Not right away you can't. But you can get there. And I see folks in my email box, folks that send me messages on TradingView. I see other YouTubers talk about this topic. And I'll give you the recipe that I use and that I teach my students. Okay, and it'll be up to you whether or not you find any value in it. But I have turned traders that were failed traders into consistently profitable traders. I've turned break-even traders to consistently profitable traders. I've taken small little fragmented type of fluctuations for profitability in certain traders and made them able to find big grand slam home runs. Now, every single day is not a grand slam opportunity. But I'm gonna pose a question to you. What happens if you get, say, 40 to 60% of the daily range? Wouldn't that be considered a lion's portion of the daily range? I'm not saying you have to be perfect and get the highest high and the lowest low, but anywhere between the range of 40 to 60% of the daily range, whatever that market you're trading is, would you be content with that? Some of you, because you're probably new, would think, no, I've seen what you've been able to do, ICT. I want to do that. Okay, that's a goal. But I'm talking about going out after you've reached 5 handles consistently. And then you graduate to doing 10 handles consistently. And then you worked in towards maybe doing NASDAQ and you can get your 20 and then 40 handles in that index. At some point, you're going to be bored by it and you're going to want to spread your wings and grow. And that is something that you should not be fearful of. But too many times, individuals, traders like you and I, we will go out there in the early stages and we'll think that we can bite off more than we typically do in previous endeavors. I'm ready for it. Let's get out there and try to do 10 contracts. I mean, I've never done 10 contracts before in my funded account trading challenges, or I've never done these things before. Let's just do it today. Let's just take a leap of faith and do it. That's a mistake. You have to graduate into it slowly. And that invisible barrier that traders, and I promise I'm going to give you some how-tos in a minute, but I kind of want to set the stage for this, because if you've never been here before, you've never been trading with live funds before, never felt the tug of war of what happens if I'm wrong, this is really going to take money out of my account, am I going to be able to sleep tonight? If you've never had that exposure or experience doing it, this is going to sound alien to you. It's not going to have the same impact that it does for individuals that are listening that absolutely have had real risk with real money. So there's this invisible barrier, okay? You never notice it until you get to that threshold. You're at that precipice where I want to hold for a little bit more, just a little bit more. I want to go for that 50 handle run. I want to go for that 100 pip rally. I want to hold for that 200 point rally or decline because some big event took place and you feel like it's going to rip. Any other time when you're trading your 5 handles, getting out when you're hitting it and you're content with it, there isn't this invisible barrier out there. But then when you start wanting to do more, where you know if you could be consistent with this just a few times a month, wow, what would that do for your trading? Man, that would really set you apart. Like, you'd be top tier. You'd be in this upper echelon of trading. And everybody would look up to you and you'd feel good about yourself. And you would feel like this is really respectable results, because you probably aren't really thinking that your 5 handles consistently every single day is respectable, when it is. It absolutely is. So it's a balancing act that has to be maintained in your growth. In the beginning, you're scared shitless. You don't know what you're doing. You're afraid to take a trade. You're afraid to lose. You don't want to be wrong. So you're worrying about all the wrong things in the beginning. But once you work out all that stuff by experience and conditioning yourself with back testing and doing demo trading, and you work your way into a very low threshold of real monetary risk when you decide to get into live fund trading, you start with a very small amount of leverage. And the graduation from that is going to be slow, not fast, slow. And the reason why it must be slow is because you don't know what it feels like to do it. Your job is to, over time, desensitize yourself. Desensitize yourself from the fear of missing out and the fear of failure. The failure of choosing the trade to be in that you're trying to hold on to for a longer run. I'm going to tell you the secret of what causes that and how you overcome it. There's a couple things you have to know about, but once you understand these things, you will know exactly when to take those types of trades. You will not fumble it. You won't second guess it. You'll know. This is the thing that I should be doing. This is not the thing I should be doing. The first thing that you have to understand is that you have to have a higher time frame draw on liquidity. That's the thing I'm teaching you in all the the coursework or content that I put on my YouTube channel, and when I'm talking to you in these Twitter spaces. I'm conditioning you to look at that higher time frame draw. Because if you don't consider that, understand this, how are you ever going to trust these intraday fluctuations and think to yourself that I'm going to hold for a 100 handle run? Can a 100 handle run be birthed, manifest itself in a range that has already moved, say, several hundred handles down, and really close in terms of proximity to a higher time frame draw on liquidity. In other words, if we think that it's going to go to a specific price level, lower, and it's the last day of the week, does it have the potential to move another 100 handles beyond that target? I mean, sure, it can, but if it's more likely that it's only going to go to where we set our attention to, some fair value gap, some old low where liquidity is, why would you, on that particular day, that particular time of day, expect your trade to somehow rub you the right way, and now you think it's going to be a big runner? So there has to be some frame of reference, which is exactly why I take everybody to a weekly chart. That weekly candlestick, what's it likely to reach for? And if we don't know what it is on the weekend before trading starts, we use Monday to ascertain what that information is. And you work throughout the entirety of the week to see where it is it's reaching for. Now, step one is you have to know what the higher time frame draw is. Where is it reaching for on a higher time frame chart? It doesn't have to be the weekly chart. I just prefer to teach my students to focus there. But if it's not clear, then you must at least, at the very minimum, have some idea on the daily chart. What is it reaching for?